People are struggling to pay the bills. They're struggling to pay for basics like groceries and gas. They're struggling from out-of-control rent increases and from unaffordable housing. People are struggling with skyrocketing inflation, employers that push back against real wage demands, and a central bank that believes that wage increases are the problems rather than the solution. People are also struggling to access public services and a social safety net, one that was supported and built by generations past and that has been cut and left to suffocate deliberately. And this is because of an ideology that believes that public resources should go instead to private for-profit corporations with no public responsibility or real accountability. To echo Patty, enough is enough. This budget is an opportunity to reverse the years of funding cuts and understaffing that have plagued our public services, but it will take political will and political choices that are hard. Public services are facing a major staffing and retention crisis that needs to be addressed. As frontline workers, the 180,000 members of OPSEU-SEFPO have unique insight and experience necessary to identify the ways we need to rebuild our public services, to truly innovate with the public in mind. We can do that while addressing the cost of living crisis and increasing the quality of life for all Ontarians. We can make real progress by bridging the wage gap, addressing understaffing, improving working conditions, and reforming the taxation system to make Ontario a place where everyone has access to the support and resources we need to thrive. OPSEU-SEFPO has practical and achievable solutions in the package in front of you. Investing in good jobs, which leads to better public services. Addressing the cost of living crisis and making life more affordable. And ending the privatization agenda while tackling climate action. I'll start with the solutions to major staffing and retention crisis. Our members have been clear. They're facing burnout and mental health injury due to extreme short staffing across the public sector. Many have left behind or are leaving behind beloved jobs in public service because their working conditions have become intolerable. The reality of Ontario's staffing crisis cannot be overstated, and neither can the harm done to our invaluable public services as a result. Even worse, many experienced workers are retiring, and this trend exacerbates the challenge of recruiting and retaining workers. The increasing reliance on part-time precarious employment or the gigification of work is contributing to an unstable workforce that is just making the staffing shortage worse. Also, the over-reliance on temp agencies to fill the gap at higher prices is actually costing Ontario taxpayers and a short-sighted approach to solving the staffing crisis. Addressing this requires the provision of more full-time employment opportunities in the Ontario public service, the broader public sector, and Ontario's public colleges, jobs that have comprehensive benefits and pensions to them as well, and that allow people to fully contribute to an economy that works for people. This will enhance the capacity of our public services and reduce wait times for the vital public services that people rely on. It also means dropping the appeal to Bill 124 and putting an end to public sector hiring freezes. But Bill 124 was short-sighted, it was unconstitutional, and it's ultimately more costly due to the effects on retention and training issues. Capping compensation creates a barrier to redressing these issues through bargaining, but it also creates a generational divide in income. It is unconscionable to ask public sector workers to accept 3 years of pay cuts, especially when inflation is hovering around 6 to 8% per year, and we're coming out of a pandemic that asked us to do more for increasingly less. The government must immediately drop its appeal of 124, approve pay increases for positions whose pay rates have fallen below their comparators, and take the necessary steps to rectify the harm that has been inflicted by Bill 124. We also need to address workplace health and safety. Ontario's staffing crisis has put workers at risk. No one should go to work afraid of getting sick or seriously injured, yet we're seeing more incidents of mental health injury and exposure to workplace violence. It's taking its toll on workers' mental health. The government must take action to ensure that all work environments are safe and that employees have the resources and equipment they need to do their work safely. The government must ensure that workers have access to WSIB, or the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board coverage, so that they are protected in case of injury. The government must commit to ensuring that workplaces are inclusive, diverse, anti-racist, equitable, accessible, respectful, but free from discrimination and harassment. Public services are frankly the great equalizer, ensuring Ontarians have access to what we need regardless of our income or ability to pay. Investing in high-quality public services helps to address the ongoing cost of living crisis. It is an investment in today, but also in our future. In 2022, consumer prices in Ontario rose more than twice as fast as wages. We need real solutions, like a raise of the minimum wage to $20 an hour. But we also need a commitment. There has been deliberate choices to starve the system of funds, right? We need to actually invest in our system. We need to get profits redirected back into the public. We need to eliminate the temp agencies that are gouging us. These were decisions that were made that allow us to starve public services and exacerbate problems that increase. Today at this committee is your chance to rectify those errors and set us on the correct course with a budget that actually invests in people. Economies work for people. People do not work for economies. Thank you.